There are children who grow up in loud houses, but somehow feel completely alone. Not because no one was there, but because no one was listening. They learned early that expressing emotion was pointless, that asking for comfort was weakness, that they had to figure it out alone. And something strange happened as a result. Those children became some of the most capable, self aware, emotionally powerful adults you'll ever meet. This is the psychology behind why. When a child's emotional needs are consistently ignored, they stop outsourcing their feelings. They become their own source of comfort. Psychologists call this internal locus of control, the belief that your own actions, not other people, determine your outcomes. While other kids waited to be rescued, these children learned to rescue themselves. That instinct doesn't disappear in adulthood, it becomes a superpower. When you can't rely on someone telling you how they feel, you learn to read the room. Children who were ignored had to decode the adults around them. The shift in a parent's tone, the tension before a storm. They became hyper-perceptive. As adults, this shows up as an almost unsettling ability to read people. They notice what's unsaid. They feel the energy in a room before anyone speaks. This isn't a gift, it was survival. But it is powerful. Here's the paradox. The child who was told their emotions were too much didn't stop feeling. They just stopped showing. Beneath the calm surface of an emotionally ignored adult is often an ocean of sensitivity. They've simply learned to regulate it alone. This creates people who are emotionally intelligent without appearing emotional. They're the person in the room who stays calm in a crisis, not because they don't feel it, but because they've practiced carrying it quietly since childhood. Emotional pain repeated early becomes ordinary. What would break someone else, rejection, silence, conflict, is already familiar territory for them. They've been through a version of that before in their own home. As a child, this isn't numbness, it's calibration. Their baseline for difficulty is set higher than most, which means what others call hard, they call Tuesday. There's a pattern psychologists have noticed in adults who were emotionally neglected as children. They become unusually attentive parents, partners, and friends. Because they know, intimately, what it feels like to be unseen, they go out of their way to make others feel seen. They listen fully. They remember the small things. They check in without being asked. They became, in many ways, the person they needed when they were young. People who were ignored don't fear silence the way others do. They grew up in it. They lived in it. They made peace with it. This gives them a rare kind of presence. They don't fill the air with noise to feel comfortable. They sit in stillness without anxiety. And in a world addicted to constant stimulation, that kind of groundedness is rare, magnetic even. If this was your childhood, if you spent years feeling invisible, I want you to understand something. The pain was real. The loneliness was real. And you didn't deserve it. But what you built inside yourself to survive it, that was real too. You became someone who doesn't need constant validation to know their worth, someone who reads people with precision, someone who feels everything but breaks over nothing. That's not damage, that's depth. If this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe, because this channel exists for people who think deeply and feel everything.